Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to another edition of Queens Live at 8. I'm Anuz Thapa, board member of Queens World Film Festival. And we are really geared up for our virtual leg of Queens World Film Festival, which is going to stream on www.filmfestivalflix.com from this Sunday, that is from November 20 to December 4. And we are streaming 122 movies from 16 nations for 14 days. And you can stream those movies in any device you want. And to talk more about the festival, I'm going to invite Ms. Keta Cato, Executive Director, and Don Cato, Artistic Director at Queens World Film Festival. Let's invite them in. Here we go. And there's Don and Keta. And I can see Don and Keta. Oh, hello, guys.
Hello.
Hello. Hey, what's up with you?
Nothing.
Not much.
Okay, how excited, how nervous are you for this virtual leg?
Oh my God. It's a downhill roller coaster.
I know Keta is a good actor, but Don, you gotta sharpen the skill.
I guess we're excited. We're very excited. It's so unknowable, and the world changes all the time. The lineup is incredible. 122 films, amazing, just amazing work. Like the film that you're going to be talking to tonight. I mean, it's just great, and it couldn't be more affordable. $10 for a feature, $10 for a carousel of shorts, or $50 for the whole thing. The whole thing. You can watch it for 2 weeks.
Wait. But can they sign up and watch right now, or they have to wait till November 20?
I'm encouraging people to sign up right now. Go to filmfestivalflix.com and you can make an account, stroll around. You don't have to buy anything right away, but just go in and make an account and get to know us so that you know what you're doing. It's very easy. It's very easy to do.
Okay, easy to do. Great. And can they watch there on their cell phone? Can they watch there on their TV? Like, can they watch it everywhere they want?
Yes, everywhere. They can watch it in their hotel room after Thanksgiving dinner when they're tired of their family.
Right.
Okay. They can watch it in their car when they're pretending to go shopping and they don't really want to. Yes, they can watch on.
Anybody who can get Wi-Fi can watch it.
Yeah. Yeah. Handheld devices, Roku, Apple, and everything.
Hulu.
You name it. Right. And Don, how different are the movies in this edition of film festival versus last year?
Oh my God. Well, the difference.
Yeah.
Well, the difference is that's really hard.
That's really hard
because each year, each crop is always unique in itself. Sometimes overall, sometimes there's a certain idea that might float through. There, I mean, during last year, it was sort of mini pandemic situations, people doing things via Zoom. So now there's a lot of projects that may have been shot perhaps early, maybe early, and then post-production was done maybe this last year, and they're finally getting them out this year. So there's a lot of, shall we say, tougher films. There's some edgier. How's that? They're a little edgier this year. Even the animation is a little edgier this year.
Right. And how often do we get movies from filmmakers outside of the US?
Every year since our beginning.
Right.
Our very first year, an opening night film was from Iran. And we've had films from Iran every year since. And we only had a few the first year, and each year we get more and more and more. Same true with Nepal, Bangladesh, India. And that's also been increasing steadily every year, more and more.
Right.
And from Indonesia and the Philippines and that portion of the world, I would say that those areas have greatly increased.
Okay, great. Now it's time to invite two guests for our show. Let's invite them. Okay, they are joining us right now. Here they are.
is the filmmaker.
That's Kirit Singh. He's the filmmaker who actually directed a short documentary called Serap of Queens. And his movie was premiered in this edition of Film Festival. And then there's Serap Jangbu Sherpa, and the documentary is based on his life. So Kirit and Serap, welcome to Queens Live at 8.
Thank you.
for having us.
Yeah, I don't know if you have met Don and Katha personally, so they are Don and Katha.
Hello, I'm Don.
Hello.
Katha.
Yeah,
Pleasure.
I saw her in the festival day.
Good,
Oh.
yes, of course.
Yeah.
I like that you have a blue T-shirt on. Very good, very good.
Oh, thank you.
We
Right.
need to get you guys T-shirts. I need your address so I can send you some
Yeah,
T-shirts.
please.
All right.
Put in
Okay.
the chat.
And okay, a little intro about our filmmakers and obviously his documentary. So the documentary is Serpa of Queens, which will be premiered in a film festival flix.com on the carousel documentary shorts. And the documentary is obviously about Serap Jangbu Sherpa, where the synopsis goes like this. Serap Jangbu Sherpa recalls his life from his home country of Nepal to his current life in New York City. And Serap Jangbu Sherpa, who moved here in the US in 2011, he was a mountain guide in Nepal, and he has climbed Mount Everest only 3 times, one more time, only 3 times. And he is right now living here with his family. Kirit, on the other hand, documents his life in Queens. Kirit is a filmmaker who was born in India, grew up in Queens. He spent his 4 years at a film school. He has been in advertising business for the past 10 years. He loves making thought-provoking documentary on the side. Serpa of Queens is the first ever movie he has ever submitted in any film festival, which happens to be Queens World Film Festival. There you go. That's Kirit and that's Serap. Okay, so Kirit, why did you submit your documentary to Queens World Film Festival? I really want to know.
Well, one of the reasons why Queens World Film Festival stood out to me is that it's such a quintessential Queens story. I think Queens is such a melting pot where you have people from all over the world, whether that's in Asia, South America, Africa, Europe, find their home in Queens. And there's so many stories to tell. I think we only see people when they're in Queens, but everyone comes to Queens with such a rich background, such a rich history and a rich culture. And I found that really fascinating. And, I just really saw how the documentary and the film festival had a connection in that way.
Right. And Don, Katha, do you have any question for Kirit?
I was going to ask him why he submitted to us. But I was sharing a story with him earlier that his piece really moved our interns that were all working with us over the summer. And sorry, my phone is ringing. And our living room is a melting pot, and we have young people from all over the world working. And this young lady just shared that she just didn't really know who her father was or her uncle was before she knew them in America. And, she was moved here as a child, as a tiny little girl, and, made her want to find out and ask them about their lives and the discovering the changes that they made for their family.
Right. And Don, help me understand how, this short movie got selected at the film festival, because you are part of the screening committee.
Well, it was selected because it was very personal, and it was in fact an immigrant story. And the fact that this particular person here only climbed Mount Everest 3 times.
Only 3 times, right?
Only 3 times.
Right.
And is now he's Sherpaing a Uber. I mean, I think that's what was amazing about it. So the contrast between here's this environment, and first of all, you got this incredible place on this planet, and you come to this other totally opposite incredible place on this planet. And in both cases, it takes enormous amounts of skill to do both, although there probably isn't the same lack of oxygen at this level. But nonetheless, you still have to navigate what's here.
Right.
So if you can go up that mountain 3 times and come down 3 times. You can find your way around Queens.
Just the
Right.
incredible strength of you
Yeah.
as a human being, your resilience, and it's just so well told that you're
Yeah.
there, and it is such a human story.
And it was so simple,
Right.
simple and honest.
Right. And Serap, how did you meet Kirit?
Yeah, one day, I got a text message from him. I don't know how he find me,
Mhm.
but yeah, I got a message from him, and then we connect after that.
Wait, saying what? Like, what was the message about? What was the content of that message?
I mean, I think he sent me message. So like his name, and then I'm Kirit, and so I, read about your, stories. So can we meet?
Mhm.
First we have very short communication first.
Okay, okay. And Kirit, how did you know about him? Like, how did you get his number? Come on.
Yeah, well,
Violation
so
of
I,
privacy.
yeah, no, it wasn't a text message. It was a Facebook message. So I think
Yeah.
it was an article that I read. I think it was about you and maybe one of your brothers or your cousins who were, just basically encompassing the story, how there were renowned mountain guides back in Nepal, and yet here they are driving, either a cab or an Uber. And that story really resonated with me. I found that so fascinating. So I actually Facebook searched his name, and I got his profile, and I thought it could make a really beautiful and a really moving short documentary. And I messaged him on a whim, and he responded, and we met up a few times, and then we just started get the ball rolling on the actual documentary.
Right, right. And Serap, what made you, give him green signal to document your story?
I mean, it is good to show people something, what I did, what my experience,
Mhm.
from Nepal to United States, totally living different life, different country, different cultures.
Mhm.
It's to sharing stories, like lifestyle,
Mhm.
and backing my mountaineering stories.
Mhm.
Yep, that kind.
Right, right. And Don, let me come to you, because I've been part of Queens World Film Festival for past 4 or 5 years. We always see a lot of stories about immigrants. What is so fascinating thing about immigrants in the US, Don?
What's so fascinating is that they come here with an expectation of the American dream,
Mhm.
and it's not an easy ladder to climb.
True.
And yet it takes a great deal of determination. It takes a lot of work, many more hours than expected.
Mhm.
And sometimes you enter at a much lower level of
Mhm.
where you were, where you might have been here in your previous country, but still you came here because you can get here and maybe surpass that. And there's a lot of work involved in that. And to see how diligent the immigrants are, how much they really care, and how much they feel as though it's not just for me, but it's for my next generation.
Mhm.
And that's part of the stories that are just absolutely necessary for us, because in one sense or another, our ancestors were all immigrants here.
Mhm. Right. I can see
Well,
that Kirit wants to add. Yeah, go ahead, Kirit.
Well, I also think it's a fascination of a hero's journey, right? What drives a person to leave their homeland and their culture and everything that they know to go for this foreign land, right? And go through the gauntlet of that, and what comes out of that. I think is real fascinating. And to your point, Don, this is a country of immigrants, and every one of our ancestors has had that journey that brought them here, and it is a part of specifically Queens, New York City culture, but also American culture in general.
Mhm. Mhm.
I'm not from New York, so I had no sense of that until I came to New York and lived in Jackson Heights.
Mhm.
And I remember it just hitting me. Can you imagine coming to a country where you don't speak the language, you have children, you get them in school, you learn how to feed them, you feed them the things that you know how to cook, and you also find new things, and it's amazing what every human being has done whenever they've gone to a new land and of any place and kept their family intact and gave opportunities and became and learned new things and I think it's just amazing and it continues to inspire.
Right. Yeah, and Kirit, how long did it take for you to produce this documentary?
So it was a slow moving process. We did it over COVID, during the COVID pandemic. So, and it was in between sort of what I had going on in time, then also being very mindful of Serap's life and his work life. And also just, I had a lot of friends help me on this project. So it was also being mindful of when they were able to help. So I think from start to finish, it might have taken about 12 to 14 months. From like, I guess the initial message I sent to Serap to getting a final cut.
Okay, great. And I know Don and Ketha needs to, go away. So
We have to leave?
do I kick you out or you want to go leave yourself?
That's all right.
Well, we need a guide.
But to climb Mount Everest?
Yeah, to get out
Every day.
Okay,
Yeah,
before
I'm always ready,
before you head out, Don and Ketha, is there anything else you want to share with our audience?
Just thank you
for
sharing your stories. And you just never know the story that the person in the front seat has to tell you. You just never know.
Yeah, let's climb that mountain together.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Bye, Don. Bye, Ketha. There you go. Now 3 of us together. Okay. Kirit, now help me understand the thought process of making this documentary.
Sure. I think there are two major components that I really wanted to capture. One was, his current career or his current job, which is driving an Uber, and juxtapose that and, capture the visuals around that and how it's very enclosed in a car, and juxtapose that against mountain, which is very expansive, very visually breathtaking. So just those are the two main goals, and just trying to figure out how I can weave those two goals together was kind of the process.
Right. And Serap, was that the first time you were ever filmed in a documentary, or you had that experience before?
I do have that experience before.
Oh, it was a piece of cake for you then.
He's such an expert.
I mean, yeah, I did many times. So.
Right.
Yes,
right.
I mean, Serap he's really renowned climber in Nepal, and he's been featured in, I think, TV shows and other documentaries multiple times before.
Right. Oh, great. So it wasn't that difficult for you, Kirit, especially you, to make Serap talk to you on camera. Then it was like spontaneous.
No, he's a natural. And we just treated it as a conversation. I think it wasn't really an interview, it was more a conversation. I don't know, maybe Serap, you can speak to a bit how the interview and process went.
Okay, Serap, tell me, how did the filming go? Like how easy was it to work with Kirit, or how difficult was it?
It was very good, I don't feel any difficult, and it was really, during we taking the clip, all was very smooth and very easy to conversation, and everything was very good. Yeah.
Okay, and what was going through your mind when you saw the final product, the final documentary for the first time?
That was great. I was really happy with Chris and the other who work with these documentaries. I mean, it was really great documentaries, of the final, we watch.
Right. And have any of your family members watched this documentary yet?
I mean, the screen day is my youngest brother and my other cousin brothers and their families. But my family, they are a little busy due to the work. They're not able to watch.
Yeah. No problem. They're gonna watch it on filmfestivalflex.com when we start streaming this Sunday. So you don't have to worry about that then.
All right. Yeah, thank
I just had to plug in about filmfestivalflix.com, So for those who wants to watch Serap of Queens, you just need to go to filmfestivalflex.com and start streaming it from November 20 to December 4 for 14 days. Let's come to Kirit. Now, Kirit, help me understand. You have been in advertising business for past 10 years, and obviously advertising business is a creative work in itself. But besides that, you also wanted to work on nonfiction, right? So what do you enjoy more, fiction or nonfiction?
It's different, it's very different. I think, just to speak from my personal experience in advertising, it's you have a certain objective, right? The objective is to either promote the brand or promote a project or promote a product, excuse me.
Mhm.
And you go in and every decision is made through that lens. Whereas I think for nonfiction documentaries, a bit of an unfolding. I messaged Serap, and that relationship developed, and from that relationship, we try to figure out what we can film, what we can't film.
Mhm.
So I think it's a bit more of it's just a bit more of a mystery, it's a bit more of unfolding, which I think I really enjoy. Whereas with advertising, everything has to be very thought out beforehand. Everything has to be very buttoned up. There has to be storyboards, it's scripts approved, has to go through multiple rounds of approval, whether that's through creative or through the client side.
Mhm.
So, I mean, that's fun and it pays the bills, but I think just from more artistic point of view, it is fun to just go do a project not knowing how it's going to be or where it's going to end up.
Right. I also love, making documentaries, and one of the challenging aspects of documentary filmmaking, personally for me, is gaining a trust with your subject. It's really important. It's really challenging at the same time. So, how did you is there a tricks or or tips to share on how to win trust with your subject while you are working on a documentary like this?
I think just being genuine, I think you approach them and try to be genuine of who you are and why you want to make this project and why you want to partner with a person. I think will go a long way. And if it's right, it's right. If it's not right, and that's just, part of life.
Right. Serap, how did Kirit win your trust?
Yeah, I mean, we trust. I mean, when I communication, a couple of times it was great. I can trust, of course.
Right. And how many times did you guys, sit down for coffee or tea before you actually start filming?
I think before filming, I think we stayed 2 or 3 times, I guess.
Right.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then after, and we went Mount Washington.
Mm-hmm.
I think 2 days or 2-3 days.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, and after back, and also between we have couple time interview and filming in city.
Mhm.
So together it was good time.
Right. And did you, Serap, did you talk to your family before, giving green signal to Kirit's project?
Yeah. I mean, I share always with my families, whatever.
Yeah. Were they excited? Were they nervous? Or was there a pushback against this project? If you could say.
No.
No.
Yeah.
He's such a professional. He's done it before.
So all my families know, all like this, They already
They already know he's a movie star.
Here's the movie star. We have climbed Mount Everest only 3 times. So, so he's an expert on everything.
I mean,
yeah, go ahead.
I mean, I've been climb over 8,000 meters 17 times, include 3 times Everest.
Oh my God.
And,
Only 3
I'm,
times. Oh my God.
yeah. And I'm first Nepali to complete all 8,000 meter mountain in Nepal in 2009.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and also first person to climb K2 twice within 12 days in WoW.
Whoa.
And Everest also, I climbed all 3 different routes.
Right.
So there's many stories.
He's a big deal.
Yeah, he's a big deal. Yeah, certainly. So, Serap, you have that amazing history, left behind in Nepal, and right now you have a new journey, in the US. Like, quote unquote following American dreams. So what is American dreams to you?
I don't have really especially, nothing really special too.
Mhm.
I think he does. Can I speak for you, Sarah? Because I think in the
Go ahead.
documentary you did mention a better
Yeah.
life, a better
Yeah.
education for your kids, and I
Yeah,
think
of
that's
course, yeah.
I think
mean,
that's
I moved here for better life education for my kids because it's really good opportunity countries in the United States.
Mhm.
So I mean, Nepal also we do, but I mean it's much better than
Right.
for in their future
Right.
because my life is already 50% already done. So
Right.
but I need to think for kids.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So,
So for you, like, American dream is better education, better opportunities, especially for younger generation.
younger generation. I mean, of course, for us also, working and
Right.
I mean, life is good here,
Uh-huh.
but I mean, everybody don't have times.
Right. That's funny, yeah. Because I'm also originally from Nepal, and I whenever somebody asks me like if you miss question like if you miss Nepal, those questions are so stupid. I find
Yeah.
it like who doesn't miss their home country. Anyway, so I'm not gonna ask that stupid question to you because that's gonna make me look stupid. So Kirit, now you were born in India and India, Nepal, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka. We are part of an Indian subcontinent. Is there a certain forms of storytelling that is distinctive of South Asia? What do you think?
Oh, that's a fascinating question. No, I don't think there is a distinctive story. I think storytelling is so universal. I think it's the languages changes and sort of the visuals change, but the storytelling aspect and what connects people together is so universal.
Right. And so where do you see yourself in storytelling in the future?
Sure, I just, I really want to refine my craft further and just tell more stories that connect with people. And I think that really drives me is that we can come from these different backgrounds and different cultures, but, we still can connect through storytelling with everyone else because everyone goes through the same things, in their souls. And I think that's what binds us together as human beings.
Right. And Kirit, is it a great time to be a storyteller because of the emergence of like many platforms like OTT platforms like Netflix, Amazon Prime, like many numerous platforms, YouTube, is this a great time to be a storyteller?
Sure. I think even like beyond the platforms, the ability to tell a story has gotten so much easier. Everyone has a cell phone in their pocket that can record amazing video, and everyone has access to that. Whereas before, I think you needed specialized equipment, whether it's film equipment, dark rooms to do so. But now everyone has the equipment to do so.
Mm-hmm. And we have come to the end of today's. So, Serap, where do you see yourself in 5 years? 5 years down the line? Yeah, where do you? What's your future plan?
I mean, I go back in Nepal every year. Like I spend sometime 2 months, sometime more, because I run a school charity in Nepal.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and every year I go back. I'm going next month, December.
Oh, great.
And same time, I do like 2 weeks trekking and climbing a small peak in Nepal.
Right.
So and then back to in United States, it's the same thing.
Right.
I'm planning to go back to climb one more time in Everest.
Okay, that's gonna make only 4 times.
Like that.
Oh my God.
So let's say, we are planning like maybe within 2-3 years.
Right.
So let's say, and also I have, I'm actually my project is climbing all 14 peaks. So I have 3 left
14.
to
Okay.
climbing, 3 left in climb 2 in Pakistan.
Okay.
So I'm going to try to continue them.
Oh, nice. How old are you, by the way?
Right now I'm 50 plus.
50 plus. Okay, and you still want to climb Mount Everest.
Of course, why not? I can do until 70, 75. You know?
Oh, you just reminded me of this new Hindi movie called Uchai, where like bunch of 70
Yeah,
plus people
yeah.
like
I
they don't
just
climb
watched
Mount
few
Everest. I think
days.
they went to Everest Base Camp, something like that.
Yeah, I just watched few days ago, 3-4 days ago.
Or, is it a good movie?
It was really touching.
Okay,
Cool.
Yeah.
Check it out.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
check
it's
it out
you
then.
should watch. Yeah, it's really touching, and all the story are very good.
Right. Okay. Great. Yeah. Yeah. I haven't been to Everest camp yet, so it won't be a good question to ask you about Everest Base Camp, but I'm going to ask you about climbing Mount Everest. So, what is the feeling that you get when you are at the top of Everest? Lastly, it's going to be my last question to you.
I mean, my experience is like, first of all, it's really peaceful, right? When you're there, I mean, it's like amazing. And everything we can see, like all the mountains are like small Alps inside the cloud, in below us. And yeah, and I'm of course, happy to success.
Okay.
Yeah, and pray for peace in the world. That's it.
And Serap, I saw somebody was helping you for this live broadcast. So who was that? Who is that actually?
It's my little daughter.
Okay, what's her name? What's her name?
Her name is Jangbu Sherpa.
Jangbu Sherpa. Okay, shout
Yeah,
out to Jangbu Sherpa there. How old is she?
She's right here. I mean, I can show her face.
Yeah, if she doesn't mind.
Hi.
Hi, Jubli, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Thank you for helping your dad.
No problem.
So he has climbed Mount Everest only 3 times. So
Yes.
and he's planning for 4th time. Are you okay with that?
I just found out right now. I didn't know. I was like, what? I mean, it is one of his ambitions, so I want to support him, but at the same time, I just want to make sure that he's ready for it.
Right. Okay, great. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jubilee.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for making a brief appearance, a guest appearance.
Thank you.
Great. So lastly, is there a plan for you to climb Mount Everest?
A plan for me, definitely a plan for me to climb more mountains. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know if Everest is on that list. But just to speak to Sarah's point, just the feeling of being in the mountains, it's a really beautiful feeling, and I think I want to get more of that feeling throughout my life.
And Kirit, maybe a philosophical question: what would be the Mount Everest of your career?
Of my career? Oh, that's a fascinating question. Okay. I'm not really sure what the Mount Everest of my career would be. I think, I have a really solid career in what I'm doing in advertising. I would love to do more documentaries. So I think just getting paid to do nonfiction documentaries, I think will be a real success in itself.
Okay. Thank you, Kirit. Thank you, Serap, for being on the show. Thank you so much for
Thank
Thank you.
Take it easy.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye. Okay, so they were Serap Jangbu Sherpa and Kirit Singh talking to us, and their documentary Sherpa of Queens will be streamed on filmfestivalflix.com from November 20 to December 4. So we're actually really getting up for the virtual leg of Queens World Film Festival. You can watch amazing, more than 120 films from 16 nations on your personal device, and you can stream those movies on filmfestivalflix.com. So we're going to catch you tomorrow at 8 p.m. Till then, Anuz Thapa says bye-bye.